When it comes to bass fishing, what's on your boat's deck can make all the difference. Every bait tells a story and every setup has a purpose, and I'm breaking it all down. What's on my deck? Let's dive in. We're back. Part 2 of what's on my deck, July, August. If you missed the first part, scroll back, definitely watch this one. We got another 9. We're talking July, August, into September, the dog days of summer. What are we fishing for? Smallmouth and largemouth. First one up, I guess we'll start with the bait casters. Again, a popper. Not just any popper, the World Pop. If you can see this, I've talked before, I absolutely love that technology right there. It's got flash boost in it. You can see that. When you pop this thing, boop, boop, those smallmouths come up. It gives them something a little bit different going on. It's see-through. I really like that. These clear northern lakes. Definitely can catch some largemouth on it. But the Shimano World Pop, easily my go-to. Let me get this on here without hooking myself. And we can talk about the setup. The jerkbait rod, the G Loomis GLX 822C JBR. Yes, I use this for jerkbaits all the time. I also use them for topwater. I think they're phenomenal. They got the shortened handle. It's not getting caught up in my bibs, in my pockets, in my jacket, nothing like that. I can work it real easy. Shorter rod at 6'10". Perfect rod for throwing both jerkbaits and top waters, especially stuff like this in the popper. I'm using a Shimano Metanium DC XG, high speed, may as well. I'm using the rod to impart the action with the bait, so I might as well have that fast gear ratio to pick up the line when they bite and really drive those hooks home. The DC, Metanium DC, is an absolutely phenomenal reel. I can cast it a single mile. I can hit things dead with the target, the short rod. I can hit it right on the mark. Awesome combination. I'm using straight 30-pound regular Power Pro. Casts a long way. That's what I want. I want it to be able to cast a long way. I'm not worried about abrasion sounds or anything like that because they're eating a top water bait from, yay away. And I'm using just a little fluorocarbon leader here, just a little one. Helps my, it's like 17 pounds. 20 pounds at times, depending on the bait. Just helps when they do blow it up and hit it and they don't quite get it from the braid getting tangled into my hooks. I still want that braid. I want it to float. I want it to cast far, and I want, no stretch when I drive those hooks home. But that's my setup. First one of the day, we're kicking off with a top water, the Shimano World Pop. Let's get to a spinning rod, one of my favorites. This thing is straight dangerous for smallmouths. I do catch largemouths on it too, but this thing's absolutely nasty. This is the Z-Man Fuzzy Bugs, and I got this thing rigged up. Juicy, okay? We're using a little size 2 Ryugi Talisman hook, a Fuzzy Bugs, green pumpkin Fuzzy Bugs. I have a small nail, a tungsten nails from Z-Man that I used the tool and put it into the middle of the bait. Then I put my little band around it for the hook, and that actually holds even tighter because that little tungsten weight's in the bottom of it. Then in the back of it, again, using the rattlesnaker's tools, I have a rattle. Let me see. And you can actually hear that thing. This is a nasty combo for throwing at fish. I like using wacky Cincos, stuff like that too. When this one came out, I had been putting strands through Cincos and doing stuff that for a long time. Z-Man hit the nail on the head with this bait. The Bugs presentation, it's small, it's nice, it's a forward sonar killer. I can catch them off the bottom on it. A lot of times they won't even let this thing hit the bottom, but if it does, I can definitely work it like a crawdad. What does it look like? Nobody knows, but they want to eat it. Looks like something that they would want to eat. My setup for this, I'm using a G Loomis NRX Plus 842 SJR spin jig rod. 842, 7-foot, medium action, perfect. It's not too long. I'm very accurate with it on the forward sonar. I am using this a lot with forward sonar, and the reel is a Shimano Accents 3000. Casts great. Same deal, I'm using a little light PE, a Shimano line here, and then I got, I'm using just a little 8-pound or maybe 10-pound Seeger and Vizex fluorocarbon leader. But this right here, nasty. They absolutely love that thing. Back to the bait caster. How about a new one from Z-Man, an iCast drop. I've been playing with this for a while, had to keep it under the lids. Been playing with a lot of different styles of it because Z-Man's come out with a newly formulated Elastec that's got sinking properties to it. So, awesome. I want that because I love, and I've been a big Z-Man proponent for a long time because I like that it floats. I like that a bait falls to the bottom like a Ned rig and then pops back up, floats back up in their face. That's really nice. There's times that I want the bait to sink a little bit more than that, and Z-Man's crushed it. And this right here is the Kingpin worm. Not really doing too much with it. I got a little 1/8 ounce tungsten, just letting her slide old school style. I got the Kingpin on there, and I'm using a Owner Cover Shot HD. It's like a 4/0 or a 5/0, I can't quite remember. It's perfect for any of these style baits because it's got that fluorocarbon keeper on there, straight shank. I can slip it up in there like this, and I have a deadly little combination. I can pitch this in holes in the lily pads. I can pitch it on the weed line, cast it on the weed line. I can do whatever I want to do. Awesome setup. The rod for it, G Loomis NRX Plus 894C jigworm rod, 7'5", heavy action, probably one of the undisputed most popular rods in the G Loomis setup, and for good reason. I'm using a Shimano Metanium, an 8-speed. Again, it ain't like I'm reeling this thing to give it action. I'm dragging it, feel the pop, reel down quick, set the hook, so I want that 8-speed. Again, I'm using that Power Pro SSV2 straight 40-pound test, and I'm going to a 20-pound Seeger Invisex, or this is actually a Seeger Tatsu leader on this thing. Awesome setup. The Metanium's killer. It's the best. You know when you have an NRX in your hand. I'm just telling you straight up. What do we got next? The Bear Hair. This one's been awesome. This one's been out. This is one of our debuts that we dropped on the Black Sheep Custom Tackle. My buddy Brad Leitner, Choder, the best hair tire that I know of. This is a unique one, and we're going to talk about the Bear Hair. Why is it different than Marabou? Well, it is different, and for good reasons. This right here is the Bear Hair, okay? It's got a lighter 1/8 ounce head on it, and we're using black bear hair. We got a couple little kickers here, little hackle feather kickers on it, you know, a little bit of flash boo to it, stuff like that, but a little bit of flashy stuff, I should say, to it. But there's no Marabou. We're using bear hair on these, and bear hair is unique. I like it. Now, do I use a Marabou jig still? Yes, I think there's times, and I've seen it firsthand, where the bear hair will wear out a Marabou jig. Cast and reeling it back, cast and reeling it back, cast, and depends on the time of year. They look different in the water. This one, at the same time, I've seen completely smoke the Marabou jig, fishing it the same way. But this one's a little bit more unique in that I can scope with this one a lot easier. Not that I can't scope with a little Marabou jig, I can, but I really like this presentation. It waves a little bit in the water, a little bit thicker, bigger, beefier profile, really gets commands those basses' attention. I can pull fish off of rocks on this. I can scope them with it. So much I can do. And another thing is with this little football head on here, I'm bumping bottom a little bit more. I kind of been digging that with this jig, kind of bumping the bottom as I'm, you know, flowing it through there. I mean, this thing is straight up 80s Hair Nation. Look at it. It's awesome. The last thing about this thing is the hook. Have not found a better hook on the market for a hair jig than this one. It's a VMC. It's a coated little VMC. You get a lot of fish out of this one as opposed to some of the other ones that I've used in the past. This one just keeps on giving, and all hand tied here. You can get these for sure at the Black Sheep Custom Tackle website. My setup, the 901 G Loomis NRX Plus 901S. That's 7.6 fast, medium, light, longer rod. It's a noodle. This thing whips. It's got plenty of backbone. All Loomis. When I say it's a noodle, they don't make a noodle. You know, like they make rods that are equipped to do what they need to do. That's everything from casting accuracy, casting length, hook set, and bringing the fish back in the boat. They dominate at that, and this is the creme de creme of hair jig rods. Whether I was throwing the bear hair on here or whether I was throwing a standard Marabou jig, this one would get the nod. I even throw spy baits on this. I like how soft it is, especially with those treble hooks. They just can't get off. They can't get off. I can cast it a long way. Same deal, using a Shimano Accents 3000 on this, running Power Pro line to a 8-pound Seeger fluorocarbon leader. It's actually getting really chewed up, and I got to redo that. So I got to remember that. If you see the pictures and that haven't gotten to it yet, know that I caught it, and I do not throw it like that. Back to the bait caster. I got a fun one for you guys, and I don't hear people throwing it no more, and boy do I catch them on it. This is like an old school biffle head, right? Swing ball head. This one's a 3/4 ounce. It's a tungsten one. I better not lose this because these are going to be hard to come by. It's a Strike King tungsten one. I'm using the Owner, the big jungle wide gap hook on that thing. Absolutely nasty. For plastics, I throw an array of plastics on this thing, or have over the time. It does matter. That's why I don't even have a bait out here right now. I was throwing a goat on it. A goat's a really good one. You know, it's not a lot to it. Doesn't move too much. The tails sit there and kick. No matter really what you can use a swim bait, like a Kitech. I've used that style, paddle tail style on the back. A lot of options that you can use. I can move this thing as fast as I want on the bottom. I can kill it. I can drag it. I can hop it. It gets big bites. I'm using for the setup, we'd have to use the Carolina rig rod because it's killer for anything on the bottom, like a football jig, Carolina rig, anything. This is the G Loomis NRX Plus 873C Carolina rig. That's 7.3 medium heavy Shimano Metanium and HG. Don't need it. I am using the reel a little bit, you know, kind of like a crankbait with it. So I do like the 7-speed, so I'm not a little bit too quick. If I was catching them more, dragging it, which happens, I might throw an 8-speed on there. And I'm just running straight 17-pound Seeger and VizX fluorocarbon. Awesome setup, smallmouth, largemouth alike, rock pile fishing. It kicks up sand, kicks up debris. It looks just like a crawdad. And the thing is, around here, we have such big crawdads. We got rusty crawdads, and they're big. Everything in Lake Mille Lacs grows huge. Leech Lake, all these lakes up here, everything grows big in them, has the capability of getting big. And the rusty crawdad is an invasive. No different. They get huge like this. So you'd be surprised at how big of some plastics I will actually put on that to get some bites. Getting down to the nitty gritty, you know, we couldn't do anything without the Ned rig. Still probably my favorite overall smallmouth bait. I don't care how many koikis are getting tossed. I don't care how many minnows are getting tossed. I'm tossing all those too. But the Ned rig day in and day out catches them. I'd put the shaky head in there too, you know, if I'm around cover, because the shaky head's really deadly, especially for largemouth. But in this case, I was out smallmouth fishing, and even when I was largemouth fishing, I still had enough open water, and I use this thing like a jig worm a lot. Just kind of throw it on the edge of the weed lines, throw it in the holes in the milfoil. But to be able to do that, I got to be able to have the rod. This is the G Loomis NRX Plus 872 jig worm rod. We talked about that before. 7.3 medium action. Shimano Accents 4000. I'm running straight 10-pound Power Pro SSV2 braid to a 10-pound Seeger and VizX fluorocarbon leader. This head right here is a new black sheep. It will be out very soon. We have multiple versions of Ned rigs coming out. This one I designed. This is of the bigger version of the one I designed. They come in 1/0, 2/0 hooks. Awesome keepers on there. Coated Gamakatsu hook, so an upgrade from the Ned head that I'd used previously and helped design. Awesome setup, and this right here is just a big TRD I cut off maybe 3/4 of an inch, and I'm using Goby Bryant. And I'm using Goby Bryant right now because half the time I don't know if I want to be a crawdad, if I want to be a perch, if I want it to be a tulipy, minnow style bait, whatever. Even the crawdads have that big white kind of glimmer blue bottom on them, so when it pops up. This is the 3/16 model. I think that's the 1/0, maybe the 2/0 hook that I got in there. Awesome all-around setup. I'm always using a Ned rig. And one thing to consider is, I know people like to come up north, chase the smallmouth, and they want to do all the fancy, you know, the dice baits and the koikis and the minnows and all that kind of good stuff. I get that. But when the wind is blowing hard, at times, these fish will want to hunker down because that current is so strong, that wind-driven current is so strong. When that happens, the Ned rig will absolutely destroy probably any other bait that I have on my deck. word to the wise. It's just something that I'm willing to throw y'all. We got 3 left. It can't be a what's on my deck. I can't even go fishing without a Z-Man chatterbait. This is just your standard chatterbait right here. We got the Z-Man jackhammer. It's a 1/2 ounce model. It straight gets eaten. I'm catching smallmouth with this. I'm catching largemouth on it. I got the chatter shads on the back of this thing. Absolutely awesome. Like I said, this is the 1/2 ounce model. I am throwing the bladed jig rod from G Loomis. It's the GLX 873C bladed jig rod. I have really kind of taken over this rod. I find myself using this one more than the NRX Plus. Now I just like the size of it. I think it's a little bit more beefed up. Still, I would use that NRX in open water, especially around smallmouth. You know, Thousand Islands, stuff like that. Phenomenal. I actually use that rod for a lot more stuff than just a chatterbait. I like to throw swim jigs on it. We got some awesome black sheep tackle swim jigs coming. But lately, for the actual chatterbait, especially in the 1/2 ounce model, I find myself grabbing the GLX a lot. Using straight 20-pound Seager and Vizex fluorocarbon and a 7-speed Shimano Metanium reel. I know sometimes this can get a little bit redundant. I'm not throwing like too many crazy stuff at you. I know my what's on my deck. I got some of my rods I've been guiding with. I got some of the new IMX Pros coming in. I got some new stuff I want to show you there. And even some specialty IMX Pros that I have on my deck with the NRXs and the GLXs all the time because I like them. I like how they're fishing and I like the skew on it. You know, I like the specs on it. Maybe I can't find that in the NRX or the GLX. Last spinning rod, we got another minnow. Why wouldn't we? But this one I have been crushing them on, and it's a fun setup. This right here, I got the 3/8 ounce Lowrider jig head from Black Sheep Custom Tackle. I designed this, so it's meant for a couple things. One, it's at the cup bottom. It's awesome. You can't wash this thing out. Great for throwing swim baits. We got this thing in all sizes, all hook sizes, sticky Gamakatsu coated Oceana Sea Style, or that nice bend on it, big panic eyes on it. So I use it for throwing any of my paddle style baits around, little paddle tails. So whether it's like 2.8 style up to bigger ones, whether I'm throwing it in the water column or on the bottom, this thing will not get snagged. It's awesome. But I wanted to do one better because there's a time when some of these stroller jigs, like how Alec works so hard to get that jig head to do exactly what he wants it to do and how to make that, manipulate that jig to make it move and shimmer the way he wants it to and when he's shaking it. This one I wanted to be able to double up. So when I was at Oahe last year, I needed the 3/8. When I was at Champlain last, I liked the 3/8 model. A lot of times you don't want to shake it like that so much when you're trying to get their attention and get it away from them. So for this one, I'm using this a lot for cruising fish, deep fish that are chasing bait and moving quick. I don't necessarily have to convince them to bite by shaking it over their head and getting their attention and all that. They're moving around, so I'm using Gussie's Glimmer Blue, a 5-inch set in shads. I like the 5-inch. Sometimes I'll go down to the 4-inch, go to the smaller hooks and go down if I need to. But I like the Glimmer Blue, that white. It's bright under the water. My point of this is I'm trying to get their attention. Okay, they're moving on me quick. They're not sitting on a rock. They're not sitting on a brush pile. They're not all sitting in a school. They're moving around, and I need something I can get down to them quick, get their attention as soon as I see on my Mega Live 2 that they're starting to look up or I got their attention. I am getting it out of there. The other thing that I'm doing with this a lot is using it. I just noticed I don't have a drop shot on my deck. I do have one tied up, but I haven't been using it much. When those fish all chase, let's say I catch one on a Ned rig or whatever, I just keep this thing like this. You can see I just put it right around. I put all my baits like that, forward sonar now, so they're just quick off. And they just clip on right there. I can just pick this up and drop it off the side of my boat. If my buddy, my team tournament partner hooks up, when I'm out guiding, whoever gets hooked up, the other guy can grab this, throw it in the direction that all those fish are following and pick one up quick. But again, I'm not gonna sit there and shake it necessarily on their head. I'm just trying to throw it out there over the deep water, get it out over them, get their attention, get something that can get down there to get their attention, and then I'm getting it away from them. And that's pretty much simply what it is. So the Black Sheep Custom Tackle Lowrider, killer for multiple presentations like that. My setup for this, I am using the G Loomis NRX Plus 821S Ned Rig rod. Robert G got me on this rod. I was hanging out earlier in the year doing some fishing. He was using this. It's an awesome setup. It's shorter. It's only 6'10". It's a medium light, but again, it's got that good backbone. But I don't want a long one for this because a lot of times I'm just throwing it off the side, or I'm just throwing it to fish and I want to be able to reel it in quick and fire again and have the utmost accuracy because I don't have time to, manipulate my bait and make it fall. And then I'm using the Vanquish. This is the 3000 Vanquish, newer to the Shimano lineup this year. It's filthy light. It's really fun. I fish the Accents a lot. I can't say that it's better than the Accents. They both have the MGL. They're just different. It's a little bit lighter. It's got a little bit bigger spool. It's a phenomenal reel that I just can't put down, and I actually just ordered a couple more of. So the Ned Rig rod mixed with the Vanquish, some light line going to a 12-pound, or no, this is actually a 10, no, this is a 12-pound Seeger Invisex fluorocarbon. Is that it? We got one more. Another topwater. I love throwing topwater. Smallmouth, largemouth, doesn't matter. I throw it to them both. I had the Frog, I had the World Pop. In this case, I got the Evergreen SB 105. It's the smaller one, okay? So it's a 105 size. Really loud. I can move this thing, walk the dog, I can cast this thing as far as this reel will throw it, and it starts immediately walking, coming back. It's got 3 sticky, sharp hooks on it, and just an all-around awesome presentation. Again, I'm using the G Loomis jerkbait rod, the 822C, the 610 with the shortened handle. Again, I'm using the Shimano Metanium DC. Again, I'm using 30-pound Power Pro, and I got a small 17-pound Seeger Invisex fluorocarbon leader. It's actually a 20-pound Seeger and fluorocarbon leader, and that is it. And this thing catches largemouth, throw it over the top of the weeds, throw it over rock piles. I can throw it to smallmouth when they're up eating mayflies. More of a cast and move bait than the World Pop. The World Pop, I tend to want to know that they're around, or they're it's a little current deal or a little shaded spot or something that I want to buy a lot of time, maybe over the top of a rock, up top of a brush pile. I just want to buy a lot of time around boat docks. And that's it. That's the wrap for this episode of What's on My Deck. 9 rods and reels I'm using for largemouth. For smallmouth is actually 18, because if you missed this one, or you missed the first one, part 1 of this, you can definitely please scroll down, check it out, watch it. I'll be back this fall with doing some awesome smallmouth, largemouth fishing, my favorite time of year to go and get after them. So we'll have all new rods ready to rock and roll for that. So definitely make sure you're subscribing to my channel. The Bass Lane kicking off. We got some brand new episodes in the hopper already shot. We got Easton Fothergill for one of them. That's going to be awesome. So please, please, please follow along, subscribe to my channel, and thanks for following along.